gourmet next door. How you been? It's been a crazy, insane week for me with work. So today's Friday and I'm super happy to be sharing this dinner recipe with you. So we're gonna be making a Sriracha mustard glazed salmon and I'm gonna serve it with crispy Brussels sprouts. Now that face, I saw it when I said Brussels sprouts, you went, ugh. Don't do that. This is not the boiled like cabbage. This is crispy off the hook Brussels sprouts. So let me walk you through my ingredients very quickly. Start of the show, organic salmon fillet. I have sriracha, mustard, good Dijon mustard. Now my Brussels. Then I have garlic, parsley, sea salt, pepper, olive oil. That's it. Now with that, let's get salmoning. Guys, the first thing we're gonna do is to prep the salmon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the glaze, which is super easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and grate 1 clove of garlic. You know, honey mustard is pretty standard for salmon. And I wanted to give it a bit of a sweet, but I wanted to also give it a bit of spice. So that's how I came up with the Sriracha mustard concept. Creative, huh? So I have my clove of garlic grated here. I'm going to add the mustard. Now I have to tell you, my oven's preheating at 200 degrees. So I'm gonna put 2 teaspoons of mustard. And then I'm going to go ahead with some sriracha, about the same amount sriracha. So let's give this a nice stir. This is super easy recipe, it's super tasty, and you won't believe how much this glaze lifts up the salmon. It's very mustardy, very spicy, but it's missing sweetness. So what I'm gonna be doing is adding half teaspoon of powdered erythritol. You can add honey, you can add maple syrup, you can add things like that to make it sweeter. But I want to balance the mustard, the sriracha, the garlic, as well as the sweet. Guys, it's weekend! How exciting is that? I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm watching Narcos this weekend. I know I'm super late, but Narcos is absolutely addictive. It's such a good series. If you have not seen it, which I don't think many of you out there, but if you haven't seen it, see it. It's amazing. And it's helping me improve my Spanish, un poquito. Guys, so I added about 4 teaspoons of erythritol to make this sweet enough for my taste. If you use honey, it's gonna take less, but because it's a sugar substitute, I had to put more of it. But if you're watching your carbs, go ahead and do that. So, my glaze is looking beautiful. Now I'm going to get this beautiful salmon out of its little cocoon here. What I have here is a beautiful salmon steak. This is center cut salmon. I love center cut salmon because it's really meaty and I realized I haven't actually had salmon in a long time. So super fresh, bought it today. So what I'm going to be doing is I have my sheet pan here and I lined it with parchment paper. So I'm going to transfer the salmon there and then glaze it. So let's move this big guy over. So I'm putting the skin side down. You can absolutely also do this on the stovetop, but it gets a bit messy. You know, it could splatter here and there. I love doing fish in the oven because it's super simple and it's super fast. It takes 10 minutes to 100 degrees. So let's go ahead and first of all give this salmon a nice little salt and pepper. So this way the seasoning will adhere to the salmon before I put the glaze. So I'm just going to put this beautiful glaze on our salmon fillet. First, the glaze is going to flavor it, and second, it's gonna keep it nice and moist. It's gonna be so delicious. You know the thing with salmon, I love smoked salmon, but when I'm cooking salmon, I kind of prefer a glaze, a marinade, something to spice it up a bit because it can be quite bland. But of course we know salmon's super good for you. So it's loaded with omega-3s, high in fat, high in protein. It's the king of the fishes, so please. So my oven's preheated, but I'm gonna hold on to the salmon for a second because I want to prepare my Brussels and get them at least into air fryer mode before I cook the salmon. Synchronization, very important. Like, you know, you're like a DJ. You know, you need to make sure you cook the salmon at the right time so the Brussels sprouts will be ready and the fish will be ready and I can eat at the same time. I'm a planner, you know that. At the same time, I turned on my air fryer, 200 degrees, to heat up. So I want to tell you a little bit about these Brussels, okay? Brussels sprouts are super good for you. They are in the cabbage family. They have lots of fiber, lots of vitamins, but if you just boil these guys or blanch them, they're just not tasty because they soak up all the water. So what I do with the air fryer is I crisp it up with just a little olive oil and salt, and then whatever marinade I will do it after, and once they come out you can toss it with those spices or those kind of marinades and it's gonna be delicious. So today I'm just gonna do like a little lemon zest, lemon juice, but you can do balsamic vinegar, really goes very well with Brussels. Parmesan, garlic, those are awesome, but because I'm doing the fish I want this to be kind of a mild flavor. So what I've done is I basically cut off the ends, the stem part, and then I removed the outer leaves, and then I gave them a good wash. That's all I did. So now I'm going to cut them in half. So look at these beautiful Brussels, and then I'm gonna toss it into my bowl. I think green and salmon pink goes really well together on the plate. So I love pairing asparagus, spinach, kale, and today Brussels with my salmon. So it's gonna cook in the air fryer for about maximum 15 minutes. But I'm gonna set the timer for 10 and then I'm gonna check on them. And the other thing is, when you're boiling cabbage kind of foods, your house smells. If you do it in the air fryer, it will not. This is an added benefit. So I got all my Brussels here, cut in half. Now I'm going to just put some olive oil and little salt. So the air fryer also is ready, it's heated up. Do you see how quickly it heats up? It took literally like 2 minutes. For the oven you have to wait longer, that's for sure. So I'm just kind of giving this a little stir to make sure the olive oil and the salt coats every single Brussels. And that's ready. So now I'm going to dunk it into my little basket. I set my timer for 10 minutes and I will check them at 10 minutes. I save the bowl because I'm gonna prepare that marinade here, and when they come hot off the air fryer, nice and crispy, I'm gonna toss them into the same bowl, and that means less dishes. So this is the time we can put our salmon because it's gonna take also 10 minutes. Look at how gorgeous this is. So it's going into the oven, preheated 200 degrees. So for the Brussels sprouts, what I'm going to be doing is I have half a lemon here. I'm going to squeeze that right into the bowl. The Brussels already have some olive oil, but I'm gonna add just a little bit, not too much. And I'm gonna add a little mustard. So then, you know, we have a little consistency with the fish. Now I don't want the Brussels to be overly mustardy, so I'm just gonna add literally half a teaspoon, so much less than what I did for the fish, and little olive oil. And I'm going to whisk that. Now what's gonna get this over the edge is lemon zest. So just zest a little lemon. all those essential oils and the lemon zest. They are going to give these Brussels a super nice texture and flavor. So my little marinade is ready, and when those crispy Brussels hit it, they are going to absorb this liquid, because that's what happens, right? When you dry something, they become thirsty, and they're gonna drink this marinade, which is exactly what I want. Guys, as I'm waiting for my Brussels and salmon, this is exactly what I love. They're working both ends. I'm going to chop up some parsley because I'm gonna garnish the salmon with a little green. So I want to cut that now. The Brussels sprouts, make sure you give them a little turn here and there while they're in the air fryer, so you make sure that every sprout has a chance to brown up and get crispy. Now, I get lots of questions about the air fryer. Honestly, this is the best investment I've done. First, it's quick. I mean, it cooks in no time, it heats in no time. That's why I love it. Second, it gives you the nice crispy deep fried kind of taste without all the oil. You put only like a tablespoon of oil in all those vegetables and they will become super crunchy and crispy. And you can't really get that in the oven. I tried, but the vegetables still release some liquid, and then they kind of roast in that liquid, so you don't get the crispy texture. I'm gonna show you in a second. They are amazing. And honestly, I highly recommend an air fryer if you're eating healthy. I think it's a great thing. I have Philips. I love this little guy. People even bake with it. I've never done it. I only cook with it, but I absolutely love it. It's the best investment ever. And I ordered on Amazon. It was on super deal, so highly recommend it. Guys, I just took the salmon out of the oven. Look at this beauty. It's gorgeous. And that glaze has covered the fish completely. So I got my gorgeous blue plate tonight. Ding ding! It's done, and I cannot wait to show you these crispy Brussels. Guys, look at these beauties. I told you they look nothing like the Brussels sprouts you used to eat. So, before I go on to the plating, I have my little marinade here. I'm gonna dunk these guys in. Do you see the crunch? Exactly. They're like Brussels chips. So good. So they are hot, and all I'm gonna do is mix this up. I can smell the lemon as the hot Brussels hit the marinade. Oh, it's gonna be so gorgeous. I gotta show you one of these. Look at this, how gorgeous. It's fully caramelized on the outside. I gotta give this a try. Delicious. Let's plate this puppy up. So first, let's put our Brussels. I love a crispy Brussels. So I'm picking the crispy ones more. Oh, that looks so delicious. Now the salmon. Oh. So there's a little salmon stuck on the sheet pan, and it will be a terrible waste. So that marinade is off the hook. Little parsley. That is it, guys. Here is my Sriracha mustard glazed salmon served with crispy Brussels sprouts. Bon appetit. Guys, let's give it a try. So little salmon. I just want to show you how moist it is. Look at how this salmon is perfectly cooked. And then let me grab a little Brussels. Super tasty, super flavorful, super healthy. Give this recipe a try. Let me know how your salmon does with the Brussels. Thanks for watching. Stay home, stay safe, and see you next time. Ciao!